Now, Leslie McCormick of the Farwell Group, author of Bank on Yourself, Why Every Woman Should Plan to Be Financially Single Even If She's Not, joins us. Good morning, Leslie, and what are we talking about today?
Good morning, Marilyn. We've been talking a lot about estate planning. Estates can be simple, they can be complicated. It really depends on you, your personal circumstances, and preferences. But far too often, people put off their planning. It can be an uncomfortable conversation and just something they don't want to face. And far too often, I see examples of what happens when people don't plan. We have the choice to leave the legacy we want or the one that's chosen for us. And far too often, the choice to avoid the topic or keep putting it off results in a haphazard estate that is time-consuming and could end up paying more in tax and cause relationships to fracture. Today, I'm hoping we can learn from someone else's mistake. A man I knew passed away quite suddenly and unexpectedly. I'd been speaking with him for some time and had been encouraging him to get his will done. He didn't see the urgency. He's relatively young, single, and good health, and just had one adult child who would inherit everything. He died without a will. In Ontario, if you die without a will, Ontario's Succession Law Reform Act dictates how your estate will be distributed, and someone needs to apply to the court to ask for the authority to administer the estate. The law decides who the legal beneficiaries are and what the split is between, say, a spouse, children, surviving family. For instance, if you're married and have children and die without a will, your spouse does not necessarily inherit everything. There's a split between a surviving spouse and the couple's children. Common law spouses are not treated equally in Ontario. And as such, a surviving common law spouse would not inherit any part of the assets that go through the estate. They're left out. You can see how there could be many unintended consequences when someone dies without a will, or intestate, as it's called. Unfortunately, this man I've been talking about, his choice to put off getting a will had unintended consequences. There wasn't proper planning, and so there was a significant tax bill. But that wasn't the biggest cost. His estate was challenged, which is a significant risk when someone dies without a will. I'll keep a long story short, but there were a lot of legal bills. It took a very long time to administer the estate, meaning his beneficiary had to wait a long time to get the inheritance. And the challenge of the estate was actually somewhat successful. And so the only child didn't end up inheriting everything. As an advisor, I really don't like when I think in my head, if only, because it usually means it didn't have to be that way. And for this man and his adult child, it didn't have to be that way. Taking the time to do a simple will would have saved so much time, money, and emotional distress. I really don't think he actually left the legacy he would have chosen. So I encourage you, learn from this person's mistake. If you don't have a will, it's time to get one. If you have a will, but it's out of date, it's time to review it and update it. You have the ability to ultimately leave the legacy you choose, not the one that's chosen for you. To help you leave a meaningful legacy, we're in the planning stages of a 5 Steps to Estate Planning workshop this spring. If you'd like to know more about that and be kept informed about possibly attending, please reach out to us at the Farwell Group, 416-863-7501.
Well, I'm interested in that workshop. Please put my name on the list. I will call in to guarantee that I'll be there and confirm. So it's up to us to leave a legacy that we want. If not, we're going to have unintended consequences, or possibly have them. More taxes, conflicts, and then there'll be that if only conversation. Leslie, thanks for sharing that story because it really highlights what's important. And again, if anyone wants to join in on that workshop, when is it going to be?
We're in the planning stages, so we don't have a final date, but it is this spring.
Okay, so just call the Farwell Group, 416-863-7501, to learn about estate planning, to get a second opinion, or to register for this workshop. You can be sure I'll be there. That's 416-863-7501. Thanks, Leslie, and we'll talk again soon.
Looking forward to it, Marilyn.